It is game day at Decatur, ladies and gentlemen. We know we've been having some technical issues, but we are excited to be here on Alumni Plaza, and we welcome you to homecoming at Decatur Central High School as we're getting you prepped and ready to roll for our homecoming matchup against the Plainfield Quakers. Robby Donoho, Dakota Atwood Jackson Tetrick, and all the way on the end we have a special guest. He's been trying to get away from us this entire time, but we didn't let him. He's here. He's on. It's Mr. Tom Winicki, our new principal here at Decatur Central High School. Mr. Winicki, first off, thank you for joining us. What is it like having your first homecoming here? We know you're a Hawk through and through, but your first homecoming as principal here at Decatur Central.
Well, it's been really exciting. All week it's been really cool to see not just the students but the teachers just kind of really embracing a joyous spirit where we're just celebrating the fact that we get to be together this year for homecoming. It's been a couple of years. Having some of the traditional activities that we've done, seeing all the students dress up all week and ready to, go take on the Quakers, just been really great.
So what do you take away from just the entire week leading up to this Friday? I know there's been so much happening. There's been all the festivities. Just how have your emotions been going into this Friday as principal here?
Well, I think as a coach, you kind of want to see things the same. Greatness is often something that comes off of things being very predictable and regimented and a routine. And I think we've been able to blend both of those things this week where we had some celebrations, but then we didn't really step out of the norm so that, we have the absolute best chance we have to compete on the field tonight.
Let's talk academics. What are your priorities as a principal academically?
Well, as our vision as a district is to make students tomorrow ready. And, for some students, their next step may be into a trade, and so finding pathways where students can get an early jump on their peers into a trade if that's what they choose. I've had all four of my children graduate from here, and 3 of them went to up to God's country at Purdue.
That's right.
And
glad you mentioned that, by the way.
it felt very, very, very good about them and their preparation for that next step. So to me, to be tomorrow ready means that every student, when they cross the stage in May, that they're ready for that next step.
When 7 p.m. kicks off, can you be a fan, or are you still Mr. Winicki, the principal? Can you?
I'm a little bit of both. I've been known to holler a little bit down there in the pit with all the students, when I see someone get a score in that. But homecoming this year is a little bit means a little bit more because I live in Plainfield.
Uh-huh.
So competing and winning today just takes on a little bit more meaning. It's kind of like that bucket game in November. It can be a bad season, but if you beat IU, that's a good year for Purdue.
Are your neighbors giving you a hard time this week?
Well,
leading into this game?
You know what? Church comes Sunday, I'll be wearing my Decatur gear if we got a good win tonight.
All right. We're asking everyone for a prediction, obviously. Your call. What's the score tonight? What are you thinking? What's the prediction for tonight?
I think it'll be close first half. They throw the ball around a little bit, have a little more experience than they've had the last couple of years when we've taken them on. So I think it'll be good. It'll be a close game through the half, and then I think our depth, but our strength, our line, I think will start to take control, and I'll go 35-21, 35-23, something like that.
I like that pick. You guys got anything else for Mr. Winicki? I mean, you're the student here. This is your opportunity. Go guns blazing here, Jackson.
No, I've got nothing for me.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. Mr. Winicki, we appreciate all the time. Thank you for everything you do here
Absolutely.
at Central, and enjoy the game tonight. And we'll try to listen in really closely to hear if we can hear you hollering.
Yeah. You'll hear me.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mr. Winicki. Great stuff there from our new high school principal here at Decatur Central, Mr. Tom Winicki. We know we didn't get an opportunity to get him on earlier this season, but we are grateful to have him on here. All right, let's turn things over to talk a little football now. We got Jackson Tetrick, Dakota Atwood, yours truly, Robby Donoho. We're getting you set for kickoff here. We're just outside DeVere Fair Stadium. Kickoff will be 7 o'clock p.m. You can watch the game on the IHSAA Champions Network. We'll have Todd Sconce. We'll have Jackson Tetrick. We may have me, Blake Youngs, Dakota may be up there. Who knows? We're going to be a busy crew coming up this week. So first off, Alumni back here, Dakota. How does it feel to be back on the campus, on the home stomping grounds? I know it's been a little bit. What's it like to be back here in your old stomping grounds at Decatur Central?
It honestly feels really amazing. I mean, I was here 2 weeks ago in the Martinsville game, but nothing beats a homecoming. Nothing beats coming home for homecoming. As you see Jacob James over here getting ready. I mean, it's a homecoming.
I'm going to take 5 points off his next speech in English for that, by the way.
But again, just being back home, nothing beats it. Nothing beats, I mean, the energy of the football games. I mean, just being here it's a pleasure. Just calling this my home is just a pleasure. Just to come back whenever I need and just have fun.
Jackson, you've obviously experienced many homecomings. What's this homecoming mean to you here tonight?
It's great after last year with COVID and everything, not really having the normal homecoming. It just kind of gives you that feel of normal life again. You got the cookout over here, the tailgate.
Great tailgate over there, yeah.
Cornhole, basketball, food. It's just a great atmosphere here.
Absolutely. And if it looks like, by the way, I know I'm going back and forth between talking to you guys and staying on the phone. We need to make sure we keep this broadcast rolling. We know we got a lot going on right now, so if you see me scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through YouTube, social media, we want to make sure we have our broadcast going and making sure all things our system go. So, all right, let's take a look back then. Last week, your Hawks coming off a big win on the road once again against that team that we're not going to refer to. But obviously a big win compared to last year. Both of you guys had an opportunity to kind of take a look at that victory. Hawks went down early, were able to rally. What did you think about the victory, the game overall, just the team as we continue to move forward?
Just tonight's game, looking at from what happened last week, is Decatur's got to get off to a fast start.
Yeah.
Just last week, I mean, going down 20-7, could have been 21-7. I kind of think that the block of that extra point kind of got some type of juice into the
Changed
team
some things, yeah.
and kind of got things going and rolling. And then again, the second half, in the conference, I don't think that there's a team better than Decatur Central in that second half.
No.
I believe it was 35 unanswered points. So Decatur Central went up 41-20.
Pretty impressive. Jeez.
I mean, and you got to keep that hot hand. I mean, Caleb Hicks, I believe, had 125, 130 something rushing yards last week. Javon Tracy had 117 rushing yards or something like that. And then, I mean, Tank Stevens also had, I believe, 93. So running the ball, rushing the ball, and that's something they got to do again tonight. Plainfield doesn't look very big up front to me. I mean, and I like our offensive line at Decatur and just running up the middle and just taking what we can get at 3 to 4 yards every down is a first down in 3 plays.
You mentioned Tank Stevens, and for those who haven't found out, Tank Stevens did sustain a torn ACL in last week's win at Mooresville, so Tank will be out for the rest of the season. So you'll probably see a lot of Javon Tracy at quarterback. You may see a little bit of Braden Coffey going forward, but overall, Jackson, what's the effect of losing Tank Stevens not only as a quarterback but also as that linebacker that kind of commands that defense?
Yeah, that's a big loss in the secondary, especially because not only is he very quarterback, but he's great at tackles too. He's very tackling and making sure no one gets out of that secondary. So it's a big loss for Decatur, one of their big captains. So it's just a tough loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
He leads. I believe he's like leading in the tackles on this team. He's on both sides of the football. He's a guy that's a Division I recruit. He's got offers from, I believe, Tennessee, Cincinnati. Just
a lot of big D1 schools, Purdue, Indiana, yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of D1 schools, and he's a really good football player. I mean, he can certainly run you over on the offensive side, but also can pop you and make you drop the football. And,
of course.
And I mean that big turnovers are a big thing, and he's going to be a huge loss. But it's who's going to step up. I mean, last year Peyton Horsley went down, and
Tank had to step up.
Had to step up.
Yep.
So now Tank went down. Somebody else has to step up and play that role. I mean, on the defensive side, I think Alberto Murillo, he's gonna have to step up and play a bigger role than he's had. And the offensive side, as you mentioned, Coffey,
So Javon will start at quarterback tonight, and more than likely that's going to lead to a lot of running game, but also
Javon can throw the ball.
He can. He absolutely can. So here,
40-yard pass. Down the seam.
Here's the best part about high school football. And I don't think people understand it. When you want your best player to try to touch the ball almost every play,
Playmakers.
Javon will now touch the ball on every single play from here on out. That's kind of Jackson. Is that a big deal?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. He's your best guy out there, and he can pass the ball, he can run the ball. You got your best guy on the ball. That's exactly what you mean.
Last week, out of the Wildcat, he took the ball.
Very effective.
Went. believe it was 75
Mm-hmm.
yards. First play.
Yeah.
I believe was it the first or second play in the second half?
Something like that, yeah.
He just took it out of the Wildcat and just went 80 yards down the field, down the left side. And I mean, he's a playmaker. Put the ball in playmakers' hands.
Absolutely.
And go to work.
Yep, that's what you got to do. All right, let's preview our game tonight, taking on the Plainfield Quakers, a team again that can be really high and really low. It's kind of like an interesting roller coaster where they pick things up and down. Plainfield coming off a game where they kind of had to sweat it out against Greenwood, winning 31-28, a team they probably should have beaten a little bit more convincingly, but it didn't happen that way. So Plainfield overall, I know you do your homework on the Quakers. What do we expect from Plainfield tonight?
They got a freshman quarterback, Carson Melvin. He has some ball security issues. He leads the conference in fumbles. So if I'm Decatur Central, I'm looking at that.
Get after him,
and
strip sack.
And then the running back, Nito, he also leads all running backs in the conference with fumbles, with 2. So it's just you gotta secure the football. Don't have fumbles, because if you turn the ball over, that turnover chain for the Hawks, so that red flag, pirate flag, that's a big thing. And if they're waving that a bunch of times tonight, that's going to bring the crowd into it.
They may wave it a lot tonight.
At homecoming, I mean, it's just you got to secure the ball, and you got to protect your quarterback as well. He's a freshman; he's going to make mistakes, and you got to protect him and give him some confidence in order to get into the game. Because if you don't have confidence, sports are really a game of confidence. You don't have really any confidence, you're going to struggle a lot.
So Decatur Central, I don't believe, has lost to Plainfield in 8 years. Last time they lost to him was in 2013, Jackson. So when you think about that mentally, when you go into a game like that, if you're Decatur, because remember, Plainfield and Decatur played on this field in sectionals last year, and it was probably a little closer than people thought early on. So what does that do for your psyche going into a game like tonight then?
It kind of reminds you of that Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, where Ohio State's dominated Michigan over the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Not underestimate Plainfield. You can't go in to it thinking, oh, we've got this in the bag. You've got to go out, foot on the pedal, and just make them work for everything.
Anything else about Plainfield we should know then tonight?
I mean, just like what you said, in the past 10 years, Decatur Central's 9-1 against Plainfield.
Jeez.
Coach Enright has never lost to Plainfield.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
He's 8-0, and that's including in sectionals. He's never lost. Decatur Central over the past 10 years is averaging 41.6 points per game, and Plainfield's only averaging 20. So consistent over the past 10 years, Decatur Central is beating Plainfield by about 3 scores. So I mean, it's a blowout. It's kind of been a blowout in here recently years.
Definitely.
But just like Jackson said, you can't you can't just go in thinking you got it every year. Just like Ohio State, every year they go in and they say, hey, it's another week. You gotta go 1-0 in this week. You gotta go beat Michigan. And tonight, Decatur Central, you gotta go 1-0. You gotta stay undefeated in the conference, go win conference, and get ready for sectional, because you're gonna see this team again in sectionals.
Oh yeah.
Most likely. Just depends on the draw, but there's a team that you're gonna see possibly again in the sectional. So you gotta take in and don't take this game for granted, because there's a lot of things you're gonna see now that you're probably gonna see later on in the season. So get prepared for when games, it's win or go home and sectional time.
Definitely. All right, let's look at some of the games going on tonight around the conference and mid-state conference play. Martinsville will be at Whiteland. That may be the other game to watch. Martinsville is a team that's definitely much improved from last season. Whiteland's been a bit up and down at times, but we all know Whiteland can run the football, so they're going to continue to run the football and be successful with that. Mooresville is at Franklin. Pioneers have to bounce back after the loss last week. The Grizzly Cubs are always a sneaky team to play on the road, so Pioneers have to be up for that one. And then the other one, Perry Meridian at Greenwood. That's one of probably the bottom tier conference action right there. So overall, that should be an interesting one to watch as well. So just overall, the conference as a whole, what have you seen thus far this year? I think right now it's obviously it's Decatur's to lose. They've beaten Whiteland, they've beaten Mooresville. You take care of business from here on out, it's your mid-state champs.
They're looking fine. I mean, the conference standing, Decatur Central 3-0, as you said, at the top of the conference. You got 3 teams tied for second and Martinsville, Mooresville, and Plainfield all have one loss. And then Franklin 1-2, Perry 1-2, and then Greenwood 0-3. And as you mentioned, Plainfield would have liked last week's game to not being as close as what it was. Greenwood has only won one game on the season so far this year. And again, but Plainfield 2-1. They're looking to see, hey, if we can beat Decatur tonight,
Makes things interesting in the conference.
we
Yeah.
make some things interesting. And there's 4 teams with one loss, and Martinsville takes on a Whiteland team, and Mooresville takes on a Franklin community team. So those 2 teams win. You can see 4 teams tied with one loss in the conference tonight, and that could really mix some things up.
That gets really interesting after that. Jackson, just overall, what have you seen from the conference? I know right now Greenwood at the bottom, it's kind of muddled towards the middle, and then it's Whiteland, Mooresville, then Decatur. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy conference for Decatur, but over the years we've seen them really dominate this conference. But honestly, it's a conference that Decatur should be able to win.
Yeah.
So that they really can't let it's theirs to lose pretty much. They can't let anything silly happen to them and have any silly loss to someone they shouldn't lose to.
Let's talk keys to the game tonight between the Hawks and the Quakers. Keys to the game, what do we expect tonight? Key players to watch. Start with you,
Caleb Hicks.
Caleb Hicks.
With the quarterback going down, St. Stevens. Caleb Hicks, I believe in the Indy area, I believe he's top 10 in rushing yards.
We're having issues with your microphone right now, I think. Or maybe we're having issues with Jackson's microphone. Jackson, we got you back up now?
Yeah.
We still got Dakota, we're good?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
But Caleb
Yeah.
Hicks is in the top 10 in the Indy area, just in rushing yards in general. So he's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
You're going to lean on him tonight, that run game, and a big part. And then on the defensive side, as I mentioned earlier, Plainfield has some ball security issues. And if our defense can get in there, pop the ball loose a few times, really create some turnovers, that's going to help the offensive side. It's going to fuel it. Homecoming crowd gets into it.
Definitely. Jackson, do we have you on your mic?
Do we?
Sounds good. Yeah, fantastic. Hey, it's a live TV. You got to run with the punches. Jackson, key player, key to the game tonight for you feel like?
Probably Javon Tracy for me.
Wow, really going on a limb there, huh?
Yeah. It's going to be fun to see what he can do at quarterback, and I'm pretty excited to see what he can do. He's
Definitely.
a star player.
He can sling the football.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He threw one. I believe he threw one. It was a wildcat last week in the Mooresville game, and
Yeah.
he just launched it 40 yards down the field. It was a questionable throw here and there.
It
but
was,
I
yeah.
believe this week he's got more of that. He's got reps and everything in
Mm-hmm.
that throwing category. He's going to be more prepared for this week. But he can certainly throw the ball, so I wouldn't be surprised if he launched the ball, a quick slant here and there to Keenan Hicks or Jacob James or someone like that. I mean, it might catch Plainfield off guard a little
Yeah.
bit. But if you can remember, I believe it was last time we were here that Mooresville in the Plainfield in the regular season, Plainfield ran the Wildcat a ton.
They did, yes.
They ran the Wildcat.
And they were successful in it too at
And
times too.
So you might see that for Decatur. They're running the Wildcat now, so it's little shaking
Yeah.
things, but everything comes back around.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to make some game picks now. We're bringing in our game pick specialist, Wesley Everhart, over here. Do we have Wesley's mic? Is it all set and ready to roll? Fantastic. Wesley, you excited?
Yes,
You
very.
over there?
Yes, very.
And it's turn Wesley's microphone down just a tad bit. All right. So let's start first. Might as well keep it easy. Martinsville, Whiteland. Does Martinsville have a chance tonight?
Whiteland's one of the toughest places to play, I think,
Yeah.
in general. But I do think Martinsville they're an up and coming team. They're able to throw the ball a little bit, and I think they key on the Whiteland runs. And I really think Martinsville can take this one, and I really think Martinsville wins like 27-13.
Wow. Okay. Martinsville wins. Jackson?
I'll have to go with Dakota here too. After watching Martinsville play Decatur, they started well in the first half, but Decatur's run game really just took over in that second half. But Martinsville's a good team, and I think they can beat Whiteland. I'd say 31-21.
Whiteland's winning. You guys are crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Whiteland's beating Martinsville. Do you have a Whiteland-Martinsville pick, Wesley? Is that on your sheet? I can't remember if it was or not.
No.
Okay, we'll continue on. That's fine. You keep me honest. I like it over there. You're doing a great job. All right, Mooresville Franklin Community. Pioneers bounce back?
Mooresville bounces back from last week. They 43-28 over Franklin Community.
Jackson?
Yeah, Mooresville, after that loss, they got a chip on their shoulder. I got Mooresville winning at least 41-21.
Mooresville hangs 50 on Franklin Community. Mark it down. Nick Patterson's going to go wild. Perry Meridian and Greenwood.
Greenwood gets their first conference win.
Okay.
I believe it's at Greenwood, and just Greenwood they got some things together. I feel like they improved last week. They got some little bit of confidence, and Perry Meridian, they're up and coming, but I don't think they're quite there enough.
They're not up enough and coming.
You're
saying.
And I think Greenwood gets their first conference win.
Okay, Jackson.
I'm gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna say Perry Meridian. I feel like
I don't think it's crazy.
They've got it in them to pull it off. They've won already this year, and they give them some time, and they'll be good again.
Yeah, Perry's going to be Greenwood, I think. Greenwood is kind of working their way back into form lately, so yeah, they haven't gotten it back yet. You have Center Grove Lawrence Central on here. There's no reason to pick that. Center Grove's going by 50, so we're going to continue on from that. Toledo Ball State. The Ball State guy is putting that on here. I'm taking Toledo. Jackson, I would hope you take Toledo.
My dad's a Ball State alum, but I'd have to go with Toledo.
Toledo. You have to take Ball State. You have to take Ball State.
I'm taking Ball State.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Toledo does have one of the best recruiting classes in the MAC since 2017. I believe they're first overall in the recruiting classes. But I think Ball State gets this. I think Carson Steele goes crazy.
Ooh, Carson Steele, Center Grove alum himself.
He scored a touchdown in every single.
He has so far.
Touchdown.
All right, Wesley, let's start with you. What do you say, Illinois at Purdue? Who wins?
Honestly, Purdue by 2 touchdowns.
Purdue by 2 touchdowns. Did Timmons write that on there? What a great call. Purdue by 2 touchdowns. I love that call. All right. Dakota.
I'm an IU guy, okay? This hurts me to say.
The IU guy that goes to Purdue, by the way. Or that goes to Ball State, by the way, but okay.
I'm taking Purdue. David Bell.
If he plays.
If he plays,
Coming off the concussion, yeah.
Purdue. I just take Purdue here. Illinois is
okay.
not a team that's open quite yet.
Jackson.
I take Purdue as well. Illinois is not the greatest in the Big Ten, so I think Purdue's got this.
There's no way in the world that Purdue's going to lose to Brett Bielema again. That's not happening. Purdue wins by 50,000. Indiana at Western Kentucky. Wesley, Indiana at Western Kentucky. Who's taking it?
Honestly, they're favored by 9, but I say Indiana by a touchdown.
Indiana by a touchdown. I like the pick. Very nice. All right. Dakota?
Indiana's got to get it together. Last week's performance in the week before.
They should have beaten Cincinnati last week. I'm throwing that out. They should have.
I got Indiana 53-36.
Wow, that's high scoring. Jackson?
I got to take Indiana. Although Penix hasn't been on form and Freifogel last week wasn't looking good, I think Western Kentucky, it's a team that can give them a confidence boost. So I got Indiana at least by a touchdown.
All right, so I'm going to say one thing here, and I know I may upset some Indiana people that are watching our broadcast, but there's no way in the world if you are a Power 5 football program, you should be playing on the road at Western Kentucky. You should never agree to that. That should never happen, but that kind of shows where IU's priorities are, unfortunately. So Hoosiers win by 2 touchdowns, I would say. So we're having some issues. We're good? Okay. Yeah. So stay on that camera right there. I think that's the one that always doesn't move. It goes to that weird cinema mode. That other one, yeah. Okay. All right. Notre Dame at Wisconsin, Wesley. What you thinking?
I say Wisconsin by 7, but they're favored by 6.5. So.
Oh, you're keeping it close on the spread. I like it. All right, very nice. Dakota, Notre Dame, Wisconsin.
Notre Dame. Jack Cohen. It's kind of I want to say revenge game, reunion game against Wisconsin. I just like Notre Dame. I think they can get it together. I think they've a few close games against a Toledo team. It was a close game, but I think they kind of get it together. Aaron Williams goes crazy, and I think they take that one.
Jackson.
I'm a big Notre Dame guy, but they really got to get it together if they can beat Wisconsin. They had a close game to Toledo that really shouldn't have happened, but Notre Dame's the kind of team that plays up to their level. I think it'll be a close one. I got Notre Dame by a field goal.
You just can completely disregard the fact that there was a close game last week against Purdue?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, just making sure. All right. Notre Dame still wins. Wisconsin's not very good. Notre Dame wins. I'll say Notre Dame wins by a touchdown. Yeah, Kyron Williams, I think, is going to have a big game on the ground. I think Notre Dame will be able to run the ball in Wisconsin, even though Wisconsin defense is pretty good. I will say that. All right, let's move to the NFL. Big one Sunday, Wesley. Colts-Titans. Colts need it.
So I'm going to go against my gut here. I say Colts, but I'm taking the Titans. You have to stop Henry.
Okay, I
They
like
stop
that.
Henry.
So the Colts can't stop Henry, you think?
No.
Not going to happen? All right. I like the analysis, though. Very good.
Went crazy last week. Derrick Henry went crazy
He
last
went
week.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Like the Colts this year. Just Carson Wentz doesn't play. It's going to be the snaps are between Utley and Jacob Eason, and I just
Might as well put Bozo the Clown in taking snaps at that point.
I got the Titans in this game.
Jackson.
I'm gonna have to go against you guys here. I gotta say the Colts.
Thank you, Jackson.
It's a
Yes.
conference match. It's a division matchup here, and depending on whoever's at quarterback, whether it's Eason or Wentz or Ellinger, if that, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Darius Leonard, they're ready to go.
Colts don't lose in Nashville. They just don't. Remember when Pat McAfee made that call in the draft? He doesn't punt very much because the Colts were scoring all the time when they were on the Titans. The Colts can't lose. They're going to lose by 20. Gosh, I was about to say maybe a not so nice word, but the Colts are not going to win. Titans are going to win. I don't think Carson Wentz plays. Jacob Eason's terrible. Brett Hundley has no experience. Titans win. Derrick Henry's going to have a big game. And the Colts are going to fall to 0-3, and I'm going to find somewhere to cry to myself. All right. The big one tonight. Let's talk about it. Plainfield, Decatur Central. Wesley, what you think? It's homecoming for your Hawks.
Honestly, we're favored by 2 touchdowns, so I'd say I'm going to go out on a limb here. Pull out 40-25 Decatur.
I like it. Good pick, Wesley. Dakota?
Over the past 10 years, like I said earlier, Hawks have been winning by at least 21 points. And if you go back the last 5 years, Hawks are winning by, I believe, 28. I got the Hawks tonight, 53-28.
High scoring. Jackson.
I don't know about you guys, but I got the Quakers. I'm just kidding with that. I got Decatur Central by at least 20, I'd say.
By at least 20. I'm going to raise you guys by I think Decatur wins by 50 million tonight. There's no way Decatur's going to lose this game. They can't lose to Plainfield. I will say there may be some hiccups early on. If I give you a real score line, I'm going to say 35-17. I think it's a little bit lower scoring than we'd like. I think we can get up and down a little bit on them. The problem is I think Plainfield's going to take some shots downfield and try to fight Cale Vanderbush, who's 6'6" and is a monster. And they're going to complete a couple long balls, so you kind of just got to roll through the punches at that point, I think. So it should be fun. Overall, it should be a really, really fun game tonight. We hope you all can join us tonight at DeVere Fair Stadium. Remember, the game kicks off at 7 o'clock p.m. You can watch the game on the IHSAA Champions Network, but we hope you can be able to get inside that stadium. It's going to be a great crowd, a packed house, and it should be a whole lot of fun as we celebrate homecoming, hopefully in the right way. All right, that does it here for Game Day Live here at Decatur Central. We're going to wrap it up. Wesley Everhart doing a fantastic job on the picks. Great job, Wes. Jackson Tetrick, Dakota Atwood, and yours truly, Robby Donoho. We hope you have a great evening. We're going to see you inside DeVere Fair Stadium around 7 o'clock p.m. on the IHSAA Champions Network. And that's it